Okay, we're live. Hey, we're live.
Let me refresh. There it is. Okay, because now I can link it. Linkity link, 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 link. Okay, I posted it. In here. That's right, it's got the emoji things. Um, I'm, I'm getting distracted by your 4,000 missive, 4,000 word missive that you decided to put in the description.
There you go.
So, did you tell the folks that came and watched you draw last night that you were gonna do another after you got some sleep?
Yeah,
Okay.
I did.
So they know to keep an eye out. Um, but yeah, I posted the
But it's
notice.
like a whole different crew.
I There's a phrase for this. It's really smart ass. I'm not gonna say it on your birthday. Yes, I'm so happy that you made this decision all on your own to try out streaming on YouTube, babe, because you seem very satisfied by it at this point.
You gotta do it more monotone.
Oh, what?
I said you gotta say it more monotone. We loved it.
Of course, Nicole. Just go into it.
Okay.
I'll just talk to nobody while you're gone. Oh, that was a family phone call. The kind that, if you ignore, you'll be in hot trouble for. So I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna talk while the family stuff is going on in now the other room. Which, by the way, in case anyone is wondering later, no, we are not. We are not. Because I'm reacting at the same time that he's reacting. We're obviously still in the same room. So no, the Stewberry is not the studio yet. We're getting closer. We are getting closer. We are not there because there's just not enough hours in the day. Although, ironically, he's taking the phone call now in the studio. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, it's his birthday today, and he decided he wanted to just hang out and stream in whatever fashion. He already did a drawing stream earlier. Feel free to check that out in the other videos if you haven't already. Um, and I was sleeping during that one. But this is what he said he wanted to do. He wanted to do to Beats' birthday, so here we are doing that. And I have zero idea how long family member is going to keep him on the phone because he's notoriously bad at losing track of time. So you may be listening to me monologue for who knows, could be a half an hour. I have no idea. So I'm going to do my job as sidekick and say, as many know, I have never been a fan of the other streaming place, and I have been trying to convince Q for quite some time that this is where it's at, and it's a lot less stress here. And yeah, it's a completely different kind of payment system and all sorts of other things, but it's the stress levels are just so much lower, and it also is, it's in a weird way it's slightly less evil. Not much, but slightly less evil in the corporate hierarchy of bastards and bitches. So, and those in between. So that's one of the reasons why we're here. But don't tell him I said that. Because right now we're pretending that this was his brilliant idea all along. And he's so happy that it's been working out for him already. So he still has his Twitch anniversary coming up. A couple of months. I can't remember offhand because I don't have a head for keeping dates in my head. It's not the way my head works, which is why I'm always like, where's my calendar? And so he'll probably still be doing streams there as well. With his work schedule, it really has cut into the available time streaming, which is one of the reasons why he's not been as prolific with that, because of, the day job, which is really second shift, which is kind of afternoon night job. Anywho, so I'm just gonna keep rambling, realizing that it could be 20 minutes. Other stuff that's supposed to be going on. Yeah, we have the studio. I know he's gonna start doing spoof, or he plans. Okay, because again, this is part of it is dependent upon work schedule and all the forced shifts and stuff, which has been a headache. Even though, yeah, the money's kind of nice, because it's definitely helping catch up time from the bad times we had the last couple of years. Not that anybody hasn't had bad times. It's just our particular bad times. I'm not trying to say ours are worse than anybody else's. Today is one of the first days that the view outside the office window has almost as much actual ground showing as snow. Even though it's not been like horribly cold, the snow has just been stubborn. But we finally started having some less overcasty days, and it is finally melting because we really haven't had a lot of new snow. And I know there's something I'm supposed to be talking about as a sidekick, and it is just not coming out of the brainstem right now. Whatever it is, it'll smack me in the back of the head at some point, and then I'll be like, oh, that's what I forgot. Yeah. So I know he's hoping to start doing spoof lyric stuff again. Definitely is going to, has already been planning and doing more drawing stuff again this year. Less on the gaming side. For those who have been following him, we had a bit of a dust up with the Diggy Diggy Dwarves thing. And I do not know at this time whether that is going to be continued or not, whether we do Locho in general, or we continue with the 2 dwarf characters that we made for Diggy specifically. We keep talking about it, and then because there's been so little time to actually do a lot of stuff, it just keeps getting punted. So I really don't know what the status of Diggy is. It's not like it ever had a huge following, but I was just so happy to be playing Locho, which to me that was 9 tenths of why I was even there. Because it's not like I really needed to start yet another alt. I'm already an altaholic, which I think I even talked about a little bit in one of the streams. So he's still trying to talk me into doing solo stuff. I have zero desire. It's why I've always been the sidekick. It's why I've always been very vocal. Every time, there's even been a whisper from him or anyone else about, oh, when are you going to start to? No. I am most comfortable being a sidekick. It's a lot less stressful for me because I am not a great multitasker. And to me, yes, most of the multitasking you have to do right off the bat, as far as setting up all the right whatevers to make everything go, and plus record it for later and blah, 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 blah. But there's also the interaction with your watchers and stuff like that, as far as the live streams. And that's when it gets really hard for me, especially with stuff like games. And I don't regret the Diggy Diggy videos we've done. Streams, I guess you only call them streams if they're live. I still haven't learned a lot of the lingo because I have so much other vocabulary that's pouring out of my brain on a regular basis as I try to learn it from other venues and interests. So there's that. There may be some discussion about what's going to be happening in, quote unquote, the garden. And I just want folks that might be new or whatever who are coming across this. When I say garden, I do not mean, successful, serial, traditional garden. I mean, think wild witchy garden. That's kind of how we are. um, and me in particular, because he really he likes to eat stuff that comes out of it. He likes the fact that he doesn't have to mow a big ass lawn. Not that our property is that big to begin with. Um, and you know, that's kind of as far as it goes. He's not so much with the putter with the earth kind of thing. Um, for me, a lot of what I do, yes, there is some sustainability and like to eat food that I know what's gone onto it. As much as anybody can know what's in the rain that falls and what was in the ground before us. Which in our case, there was a family at one point that lived here, and the house is not big. So let's be clear about this. 10 kids. They had 10 children living in a house that is listed as a 3-bedroom. Yeah, think of that what you will. 4-bedroom technically. That's where I am right now. What some consider the fourth bedroom, but we're using it as the office. And 10 kids. 10 kids. And trust me, because of the era of plastics that those kids grew up in, there are plastic pieces all over the property. In the cellar, I keep finding, because we still have a mostly unfinished cellar. So sometimes when we're, trying to get another 6 inches out of a corner spot somewhere, because the people are taller than they used to be when the house was built. Uh, we'll find all kinds of stuff, and whenever we finally get to a new area where we're trying to plant natives or get rid of an invasive that back then they didn't know it was an invasive, and it might even be a prohibited plant now, because it's so bad. There's a lot of remediation even when you have a property as small as ours. So it's and we're not the kind of people who can hire landscapers and have a crew come and they can do a show about it and everybody goes, ooh, this is so amazing. No. So it's more experimental. Oh, did that work? Oh, wait, why did this die? There's a lot more of that going on. And like I said, he's been trying to get me to, do videos about that or whatever. And I'm like, there's already 4 billion other people that are doing stuff like that. And they're way better than I think I would ever be. So I do talk about it from time to time because it's of interest to me. And I hope that other people start thinking about things like, hey, maybe I can do that. Or, even if you don't have, quote unquote property, I'm just in an apartment or whatever, you can still grow some stuff. I remember years and years and years ago reading about how in Japan, even in the cities, as next to no sunshine getting to buildings as that can be, there are families that will grow, a strawberry plant and tend the heck out of that little strawberry plant, and then they have like this big ceremony, when they eat the strawberry or whatever. And I have no idea how widespread this is. I was reading about this third hand and no clue whatsoever. And I love that, the idea that, even if you're in that kind of an environment, and of course now we have grow lights and all this other stuff that didn't used to be as common or as easy to get a hold of back in the day. And in fact, one of my internet friends, and yes, I say internet friends because if they walked up to me in the street and said, "Hey," I would have no idea who they are because I only know them through the internet. They can't garden at all because of where their apartment is. There's not even like a windowsill they could hope to get a sunbeam in. So every year they garden vicariously through me, which I think is so wonderful. And I know that once they finish the studies that they're doing, they are so going to be making sure they live in a place where they can grow stuff. And that's been kind of fun in a way, and it's also been an interesting responsibility, on my shoulders, because I feel like if I produce nothing, I have failed through no fault of theirs, you know. And that's been kind of a nice thing for the art. We had a bunch of trees that unfortunately, given code and bad planning at the time, and people not thinking things through. There used to be trees in between our house and the house next door, which are actually super close together because code was different back then. Um, and the roots were in our cellar, heading towards the sump pump, because all the trees had, grown mature long, long before we came to this house. And fortunately, in a sad way, one of the trees, when the neighbor to the west bought the house, we had some drought years here really bad, so a lot of the conifers didn't do well, and one of their main pines developed a crack, and it was definitely getting sick, and if it fell the wrong way, it could take out their neighbor's house, which would have been really expensive problem. So they called somebody to have them come take out that particular tree. And apparently, once they bring all their equipment, especially at a property like ours where there's like slope, and there's no way for them to get a truck or anything in the back with ladders, so they just bring cranes. So once they're on the property, as long as they can get the work done within a certain amount of hours, it's just one fee. So we had already talked when they were looking to buy the house about the trees and how we were at some point going to have to get rid of them. And he figured, well, might as well just do it now. We do have some plants that we're going to be putting in there already. There's some that could stay because they're lower shrubs with much less root nutrition, and definitely do not have roots that go as far as the canopy does above ground. I don't know if you know that that's a standard thing where however the canopy stretches out, usually that's how long laterally the roots go in the ground. For some, they can be more than just the crown spread. If the crown hasn't been snipped, because there are people who shape and stuff like that. So but it's usually a good, rule of thumb indicator for how wide the root spread is, for any given tree. But sorry, now I'm like wandering. It's still going to take time for a lot of those roots to like really die off, and the stumps are still there. We did, there wasn't any grinding or anything. We're talking about doing the old, sugar and ants. Just keep pouring sugar on them, and the ants will eventually pick away and the rot and everything. But we're also thinking about doing whole saws, especially to the oak, to make sure that dies off faster, because that was the worst offender amongst the roots. It was two white or paper birches. I think it was an English birch as well, which that one I wanted to go just because it wasn't even native. And then, of course, we had a white oak. And we already have a rhododendron there. There's a whole bunch of, mostly not woody stem, but stuff that just comes back. I'm actually curious. It's still in pretty heavy shadow because of the two houses on either side and how close together it is. But we used to get, glorious moss and lichen and ferns and everything there. And I don't know how that's going to fare now that the shade is, lessened. So that's going to be an interesting thing for this year. I had, unfortunately, bought what was an Ozark witch hazel long time ago, because I was lied to, and this is before I was really starting to research natives and understand what makes a native, which is a very controversial thing. At what time period are we talking about being native? Do things that the colonists brought to America, are they considered? There's a whole thing to this. It's very, very interesting for people who are interested by such things, which I am one of them. And so there's Hamamelis virginiana and there's Hamamelis ozark. Ozark, as one might infer, is really supposed to be down near the Ozarks, which are way south of where we are in the United States. But at the same time, as some folks know, we're also getting the growing zone creep. We I mean, like if you drove 20 miles, 20 minutes, not even, from our house, you would be in what used to be a 5B and is now a 5A. But we technically are still 5B, and part of that is our elevation, because we're on a monomoth plateau, which is a whole other conversation, and I probably have bored whoever started watching this thinking it was going to be like drawings and fun and pop culture, and all I'm doing is rambling about plants because that's the easiest thing for me to ramble about. He's still on the phone. That is why you're still stuck with me alone. I'm so sorry. Not sorry. So anyway, Hamamelius virginiana. Yes, my brain is like this all the time. Hamamelius virginiana and Hamamelius the Ozark. We have the Ozark. It didn't die, but it struggled. And I recently, 2 years ago, I have to look it up on my records, moved it to the same, loose rock wall where the trees were that got cut down. And it it didn't do very well, but we did get some bloom this year. I can't remember exactly when, but I know it should be soon-ish. So it's still the one of the three um, branches did not make it. That just snapped off because it just wasn't getting enough water. The other two are still very flexible, but they have not shown any flowering. The main reason I kept it for now, and I'm hoping we get some flowers, is because we do not have a lot of early flowers here, flowering plants on our property. Um, so I was like, for now, let me just leave this until I can find something else that's gonna, bloom in late winter or what have you. So our earliest pollinators have them, because we did used to have two hybrid hollies that came with the house. But the problem is uh, they're good for certain pollinators that they eat everything. You know what I mean? If there's a flower on it, they're all over it. It doesn't matter what kind it is, they will be an opportunist. But some of the native species in particular that, have had their food sources cut down because people keep buying only what's available at the big box stores who don't care what, is native or not, sadly. They won't touch the flowers on the hollies because they're a hybrid, and part of the hybrid is the English holly. So I had started cutting them back to dig them out last year. I got one of them cut out, the other one's still there. And it actually, even though I practically cut it down to the ground, it still came back last year. I was shocked. So it does actually. That is going to give some flowers for the at least the flies, the little flies and things like that, which is good because, like I said, the Ozark isn't doing anything right now, and I haven't yet been able to get a Hamalias. But hopefully that's one of the ones that we're going to get this year. Finally, the proper. We're looking also to get a hawthorn to replace the devil bush, as I call it, which is a Japanese barberry. They were very popular because of their coloration in the fall. But they are extremely thuggish, invasive, bad, very bad. But I didn't want to cut it down until I had a replacement because it's one of the safe zones that our songbirds hang out in. And the juncos and everything else, because we do have neighborhood cats here. We're in a developed enough area that we don't really get the coyotes. We get the very rarely fox. Once in a blue moon deer. I did finally manage to add certain plantings and brush piles so that the bunnies that I knew were in the neighborhood but were scared of the territory of our backyard because of all the dogs close by, behind fences, but still, the dogs. Now that they have the brush piles, between whatever fear they may have had of the dogs behind fences plus the birds of prey, we are getting bunnies, which I may curse myself for later, but I'm hoping to start to do raised beds for the food crops this year so that, I make it a little bit more difficult for the buns to, completely decimate everything so that I will regret trying to invite them onto the property for free fertilizer. Trying to think. I should probably talk about more pop culture stuff because that's usually the folks that hang out. Oh, hey stranger. Sorry, I've been looking out the window because nobody was hanging out. If you're still here, stranger, it's good to see you. because there's no timestamp on these, unlike with Twitch. He's still on the phone with family. They called, no joke, they called right when we started the stream. So yeah, he's been on the phone almost 20 minutes and it's still just me. And if you want to talk about something, please, because otherwise I've just been talking about plants because I don't know what else to talk about right now because this is not planned that the phone was going to ring and he was going to take the call right when we started the stream. Where was I? I was trying to not talk about plants, and I think Stranger may have already come and gone. So, so maybe I'll just talk about plants some more. Because that's easy and it's been on my mind because the snow's melting and I do have to try to start seeds again soonish. And there's a lot of stuff that because we have critters, especially what I call the acorn bombers, otherwise known as gray squirrels, we get presents in the form of plants that I have no idea where they came from. We currently have a handful of, oh, there you are. Hey. Oh, good. I'm so glad. Yeah. If you click on the 3 dots in the upper right of chat. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm not, there it is. You're super. Thank you so much. Yeah, I've visited a couple of people's streams, especially like fundraiser streams, from some of the political folks I follow, but I've never really been on a YouTube stream, you know, as far as the one making noise and stuff. So, yeah. Yes, and I'm glad because like I said, I was just looking out the window because I'm like, what am I going to talk about? So I've just been talking about plants in the yard. So if there's anything you want to talk about, just spit it out, and I am more than happy to shift subjects. But as far as monologuing, plants are really easy, and kitties. But even the kitties, there's only so long I could talk about them, right, Bubba? And 2 of them are in here with me right now. So we're still trying to figure out how to get the scaredy boy in here. I think I have to make him a hidey hole, and then he'll be in here more often. 2 of our current 3 are what they call spirit cats. They had whatever trauma, so they were extremely shy, and shy cats are harder in a lot of ways for adoption. And I'm stubborn, and I actually volunteered at shelters in the past, so I have experience with such things. So we actually saw 2 cats who were marked spirit cats. And he really loved the look of one of them. I really loved the look of the other one. And then when we went down there, because we swore we were only going to get one. And it turned out they were bonded. And I was like, well, we're still well within the no more cats than laps rule. So we're good. And then they both had a hard time adjusting. So we wound up with Lady Sylvie, who was an elderly rehome. And yeah, having her around really helped them come out of their shells, but we broke our no more laps and cats rules. But she was already 13 and a half when we had her, and she's breaking 20 now. So however much longer we have her, we're just happy that we were able to give her home. Because older cats, for folks who don't know, they just don't get adopted, especially if they're older and they have medical histories. Because people just, it can be expensive and heartbreaking, and it is what it is. So I'm just really glad that we were lucky enough to see. Well, I was the one who saw the ad for her, and she came over with her previous human for a visit and never left. In fact, JFK weekend is her first anniversary with us because she came to us on Martin Luther King Jr. Day at the time. Right now, she is just crashed out the west window. Seriously, dude, if there's anything you want me to talk about that isn't plants or cats, you gotta help me. Because I could talk about books, I could talk about movies. I pretty much play games that most people don't even know exist anymore because I still like legacy games. But that's me. So, there's a joke about singing all by myself here. I don't know how long I'm gonna let him keep being on the phone. And I have no way. I guess I could try to text him, but I don't know if he'll get the text beep while he's on the phone. The funny thing is he's in the room that is. He's in Stewberry right now on the phone with family because they called right when we started the stream. And he's still on the phone. This is why I'm rambling solo. And yeah, because like I said, I'm like now trying to figure out how the heck I'm gonna be like, dude, get off the phone. But I guess the funny thing is I'm in the office. The room he's in is directly in front of this room, but it's not connected because of the way the house is laid out. But if I go into the closet in this room, I could bang on the wall and he'd be like, oh yeah, I guess I've been on the phone for a while, which is probably what I'm going to do if he's not off the phone by 2 o'clock. Yeah, because there was a house that we looked at before we bought this one, and they had what I called, oh my gosh, come on, brain, the fog is bad. The secret passage. Because if you were in one room, you could open a closet door, but if you went into the closet and you looked left, it also had a door that opened into the bedroom. Apparently, this was a thing by the builders in this area, that's how they had the best use of space for closets, is they would put them back to back not back to back, side to side, but they didn't always put a divider between them. And the funny thing is, the closet that's in here is also attached to the hall closet just outside the door to this room. But they did put like an eighth inch sheet good in between the two sections, so that they are you can't like just walk through the closet in this room to get out the hallway that way. You know what I mean? It's so wackadoo. But what I always wanted to do when the studio was supposed to be the library, well, it was the library for ages, was I was going to knock a hole through the wall and make one of the bookcases a door, so that you could conceivably secret passage yourself into the office from the library. And we're joking that we're still going to do it for the studio. So like if he's ever streaming too long or something, I could just like open the door and wave a flag at it or something. It would be so cool, right? I love stuff like that. And so yeah, because it's one of the goals I have, but it's been time and money. The pandemic, we all suffered in the pandemic. I don't know a single person who's like, the pandemic was the best thing ever. So this is not a sob story, but it's just so many things that we were well into our way of doing at the house, because we haven't owned it that long, just completely got, side railed because of the pandemic and because I lost income, he lost income. It was just disaster. And I'm kind of like, if we get some of the stuff done before I'm 65, I'm going to be so happy. Because that's just kind of where things are. But yeah, I love stuff like crazy secret passages and stuff like that. And yeah, it's some things about this house are really quirky. And they were cost-cutting measures, a lot of them. Like we have this weird pseudo landing thing at the top of the stairs that is something that I think of as more European. Like in Europe, you literally will have houses that have a bedroom door that on the second floor that opens, at the top step, not at the landing, the top step. And the way our stairwell works is you go, and it has one of those super tight turns at the bottom. It's not like a couple steps up and then landing, and then you turn and you go up the rest of the way. It's that just keep taking the dresser around the curve thing, so that when you get to the no more stairs, there is a mini landing that then has a step up. I'm not joking. Not just into the hallway to the right, but there's even this little shelf that's like a foot deep behind the landing that is the same level as the floors in the second floor, like the bedroom floors. It's the wildest thing I'd ever seen in a house. And the funny thing is, what we did with that shelf is we have a little. That's where we keep the secondary water dish for the cats. Because you can't really put anything there. Like you'd have like the world's thinnest curio cabinet or something. That's the only thing that would fit there. Oh, I hear a door. I think he's finally coming back. So yeah. So the house is very quirky. It's one of the things that I love about the house. Because it and plus it had all the original woodwork. Yeah, thank heaven somebody actually is here keeping me company because you abandoned me.
I did.
See?
Josh!
Oh, and Josh, shut up. So yeah. And we have more now. So yeah. So I talked about plants for like the first 25 minutes. I'm so sorry. My brain, that's all it can handle. So I just talked about plant stuff. Are you still on the phone?
I am not on the phone.
Oh, because I was about to open up the closet and knock on it.
I got 30 text messages from people.
Oh, that's awesome though.
And I'm like doing this stuff and
yeah, and forgetting that your sidekick is soloing.
I did not forget that. I mentioned it like 18 times with, we were talking politics.
Yeah. They showed up right when you ended last night. I was sleeping, so I missed it all.
Yeah, I had a really nice drawing stream, so it was lots of fun.
I was trying to catch up with Blue Sky stuff, so I didn't have a chance to watch it. Because when you do your drawings, I don't like just listening to them. I like to watch because I'm that way. I talked about spirit cats. I talked about a lot of stuff with plants and cutting down trees and how you and I are very different as far as gardening goes and how our garden is.
Well, I got a black thumb, so the end.
Yeah. So I'm really sorry, but that was all my brain can handle by myself right now. I need to reheat my tea now because I couldn't even drink tea really because I was talking so much. So I'm gonna duck out, and you can solo now for
yay
5 minutes.
And thank you for showing up, JT, and thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. Let me actually scroll up. Okay, we're good. We're all caught up.
Yeah, like I said, I thank heaven somebody showed up. I thought at least Headless might show up, but I think they've got stuff going on today.
Yeah, we're using the same mic, so we're both reacting. I got Figgie's to react as well.
I had the thought before I forget.
Okay.
If we ever do 2 beans and a mic, we could always just put one of the, cameras on the cats who pretty much never move. And people can just look at poopies if they want to. Rather than just have, whatever background. Just a thought.
That's a thought. So what are we up to? Thank you for keeping Figgie company.
So I do have a question.
Kitties? Yeah, we have 3 kitties.
Yes, 3. I did talk about them. And the old lady's eating on my desk right now because if I don't keep her food on the desk, Mr. Maine Coon, no, not Maine Coon, Mr. Forest Cat, Maine Coon's in the other room hiding, will just eat everything.
And I just say we have 3 Maine Coons.
But we don't. She's technically a Turkish Angora. He, and the boys are mixes. So yeah, he is ginormous. I still can't. He's got to be almost, because he doesn't have the tufts or anything though. The Forest can get like Maines do, but he is so close to proper size for Forest. He has to be mostly Forest. There's just no other way. So. Yes, 3 kitties. Yeah, and Augers, who is this ghost cat. Every once in a blue moon, we would get a bat in the house. Because they try to catch, insects from the side porch with the lights on, and they would just fly through the door if we opened the door to take trash out or whatever. No joke, he was sitting on the floor watching the bat circle around the room trying to figure out how to get out while I was going to get the net. I come back in just as he jumps from a sitting position, catches the bat flying 5 feet above, the floor, and then got upset when I wanted to take the bat from him. I will never forget that. Never.
I think he's still upset with you over that one.
I know he is, because I took his toy. It was like when we had the one bat that somehow got into the cellar and was trying to crawl under the cellar door into the house. And he just sat there and waited for it. And as soon as it got enough of its body out that he could paw it to drag it the rest of the way out, I was already waiting to take it away from him. He was so furious. Furious at me. And I'm sorry, Bub, but that was during the pandemic and you were behind in rabies shots and I did not need to lose you. I know. And I know that the chance that the bats have rabies is astronomically low, but I have lousy luck in many things. Yeah. I'm talking about you and bringing up old sad memories. I should shut up about those and talk about happier times. What are you doing that you're making me just talk by myself so much? I'm a sidekick. I'm not the main person.
I am getting lots of birthday wishes and I'm responding to them.
Oh, I should have figured that would happen. So, I have,
That's what I'm doing.
Okay. And of course, you can't just respond to them. You have to respond to them with whatever you've drawn of them because that's you, right?
That's me.
Yep, that's my cue. Yep. Yeah, and the funniest thing is, to me, this is because it didn't even occur to me at the time, is she is an all-white kitty. The boys are both complete boys. And I can't tell you how many times people have said, hey, can you take a picture of them looking like an Oreo? No, they don't know. They're not those kind of cats who will sit there patiently and wait for you to perfectly pose them. No. You will never see the Oreo with the 3 of them. Right, little one? Yeah. I know, honey. Yeah. Having an old lady day, are you? So I mentioned we still weren't in the studio. I sort of kind of said I didn't know what the status of Diggy was. I mentioned that you've been working ridiculous overtime, which has been interrupting so many things.
Yeah, it's not been fun.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know what else I was supposed to be talking about. Other than the fact that, you had this brilliant idea to start trying to do streams on YouTube.
My brilliant idea.
Yes, your brilliant idea. I take no credit
No,
whatsoever.
no help from Figgie on the
Oh, you
reason.
want lap time? Is that what you want, old lady? Come here. Come here. Let me turn around so you can get my lap easier because I push the drawer back together. Don't walk on the keyboard. You're going to shut windows. Come on. Kinshana. Kinshana, go. She likes my body heat, especially now. Because it is a little drafty in this room. I have to reglaze all the windows in the house. Whew. So this is what this is going to be. I'm just going to keep rambling about stuff that nobody wants to hear about, while you just keep.
They want to hear it. Yes, they want to hear it. I thought I could multitask, but I guess I can't.
I don't even know what the plan is at this point.
There were a few things that we wanted to talk about yesterday that we were like going, let's hold off until we do two things in a birthday.
We were talking about actors at one point. Oh dear Lord, did you get another thing?
I did.
I
should turn it off.
It's your phone. You do what you want. It's your birthday. What do you call it? Oh, the acorn bombers are back. I didn't think there was any pistachios left in the decline. For anybody who actually likes to feed wildlife, if you ever buy shelled pistachios, don't just toss the shells. They're really good for squirrels. They will eat them like it's no tomorrow. And it's good for their teeth and stuff too. It's another thing that helps keep their teeth from getting too long. Yeah, the one squirrel that has I don't know if they got nipped by something or caught on a branch or what, but the one that has the missing bit on their tail, I haven't seen them today. They were here yesterday though. We had a mast year, which is when you get. Wait, I forgot. This is not a children's one, right? You made sure that it's not safe for children. The setting.
Yes.
Okay. We got a fuck ton of acorns last year. That's what's called a mast year. When any tree species just makes so many babies. Baby making materials. And because we have, we do have native squirrels here, that means it's easier for them to feed young. So there's less chance that, the babies won't make it. So we have a lot of extra squirrels this year. And then they taper off again, and then there's another mast year. And then, and it's a cycle. It happens. This is the second mast year, I think, for acorns since we've lived here, right?
I think that's right.
So 7 years, 2 mast cycles. Going on 8. Well, we've been in this town for 9, so almost so two in just under a decade. Oh yeah, now we got 2 acorn bombers. Yeah, that is one thing that I actually thought about doing was not necessarily in a Howard Cosell voice, but I was thinking about doing winter streams where I would point the camera out my window into the backyard when the birds and the squirrels and the occasional chipmunks and stuff come and eat the things. I don't do regular bird feeders, especially since the bird flu stuff, because it's one of the ways it's easiest to spread all the avian illnesses. So I do scatter methods. So there and plus it also makes them work harder, so they don't get lazy and miss fat. And I also, because of the rewilding.
Look at you.
What?
Caring about the wildlife.
Oh, there are only hope because we can't take care of our planet. Yeah. So now you interrupt this, debunk this. I just thought some people would be amused if I did like a Howard Cosell kind of commentary on the feeding.
Lane Meyer, the once and future king.
Acorn bombers. Flooding with the J's yet again. Because we actually get a very broad variety. We even get birds of prey here. I don't know. I was talking about the stuff I put out. So I do some of the traditional types of things that people throw out, like nuts and raisins and things like that. But part of what I'm, trying to do with the plantings that we're letting be or adding is that it provides local food to local critters. So I don't have to buy as much bird food. And the biggest success, of course, is the goldenrod, which we had an abundance of before, we came here. We have 4 different types of goldenrod here. And I literally watch, like the juncos in particular, they do this a lot. Some of the sparrows do too. We have a couple different kinds of sparrows. We get a lot of dark-eyed juncos this time of year. And no joke, one of them will go on a spent stalk goldenrod, because I don't cut pretty much anything in the winter because I want things to have access to the seed. And if you let them lay on the ground, then they get moldy and they won't eat it. And they will jump up and down, holding on to the stem with their feet to shake off the seeds and then fly to the ground and eat the seeds. And it's really funny because you have some that will not share. So if another bird comes over to eat, it's like thug life, and they'll start like screaming at each other. And it's funny as heck, and it's free entertainment for me. But yeah, so that's the goldenrod. And I think I told you I posted these guy on my one account that if I had the skill, I would make a video of nothing but juncos shaking the seed off of the goldenrod while Casey and the Sunshine Band, shake, 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 shake your booty is playing in the background. Because I'm that kind of weirdo.
That'd be kind of awesome.
I'm sure there are definitely a segment of the population who would appreciate it. Yes, absolutely. I don't know what that says about us, but there we are. Yay. I think that's one of the things that I like about Bee Sky the most is that the feeds make it so easy for me to find all the quirky science people. And so many bad science jokes. It's amazingly wonderful. So many. So I'm just gonna be rambling all by my lonesome today while you just keep doing social media. And you're still on. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut about that rant. Kermit the Frog moment here. Sipping tea at the table. That's what this is. You know that meme, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Have to know that meme.
Why are there so many?
I can't figure out
about rainbows.
In some ways, I want your cake to change over the course of the stream. So that, like, now it's just plain, like, you just put the icing on it, and then there'll be a little decoration show up, and then another little decoration. And like, so
it was supposed to do something like that.
Was it? And you just were like, I don't have the wherewithal. Got it.
I just never did it.
I understand. Maybe next year.
Yeah.
Maybe next year. So, fam's good? Okay. That's all that matters. But the timing was hilarious.
Of course they're good. All they want to do is talk about politics.
Oh. Do they not know that this is not the home stretch yet? They need to just sit back. Anytime something outrages them, they need to disengage, go do something fun, because it's just going to be that. It's going to be nothing but outrage all year on all sides.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the sad thing is, like, when you think about what small of a percentage is going to change their vote, or actually get off their asses and vote, to be more specific. Yeah, we just got we decided we're just doing mail-ins. For those who know, you'll know why I'm going to have a very brief mini rant. Where we live, before we moved here, they built a ginormous police station. This is a small town, okay? And there's a reason the locals call it. What did that one guy call it? It's a casino in Vegas.
G Vegas?
No, it's not the G Vegas thing. It was something else. It was a specific casino that's very famous in Las Vegas. But that's what they call the police station here, and I can't think of it right now. The Taj Mahal. He says, "Oh," he said, "You seen the Taj Mahal?" I'll never forget it. The one and it was the first time I heard it was when this guy told us, and that is where our district goes to vote, to a police station that has signs everywhere that say, "If you enter this building, you consent to be searched." To vote. Don't even get me started on how screwed up that is. And no, I don't know anybody who's been stopped and whatever, but that's just the whole, that is just so wrong. That should not be a place people vote. It should not. That's like, next they're going to start, having voting in churches. I mean, like, I just,
They do down south.
Well, do they still? I thought they couldn't do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's wild. I didn't know. I thought that wasn't a thing anymore. But I mean, could you imagine? Especially if you're somebody who got picked up once on a bullshit charge. Here you are walking into the station. Ugh, it's just disgusting. Anyway. So we just got our mail-ins. And the sad thing is, this is a short walk from where we live. It's just right down the street. And we have walked about in the past, but now we always just get the mail-ins and we just drop them off at City Hall, which is also within walking distance. So it's one of the reasons I love this house is that I can walk to groceries, walk to a pharmacy. So no matter how bad the weather is, as long as they're open, I can get stuff. So some sacrifice for not having a bigger property that probably would have cost the same. But at least I can walk to stuff when I want to. I live a very sedentary life, so that's why I like walking, because most of the time I'm sitting on my butt at the desk. You know this. Why are you me like you just heard this for the first time? You know how this goes. So it's too early for the afternoon brigade, which is probably why Mr. Man left.
His television show isn't on anymore.
Yeah, he's not giving a damn about
the other shows.
The irritating squirrels. Yeah.
The other shows are in rerun.
Yeah. Well, one of the squirrels is being very territorial, and I can't figure out why. Probably. Oh, you know what? I didn't throw anything this morning, so they're probably like, whatever's here is mine. So I haven't really seen as many chippies, but they do still have a lot of ground cover this year. Making paths is going to be, I hate, every time I think about, okay, where do I want the paths to be, I kind of cringe about it because there's a permanent feeling to it, which is ridiculous because I already know how fast stuff will grow if I just let it. But my brain still can't let go of that. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, one of the cats must have come by because all the squirrels just scattered. Unless it's threat from above, which I can't see because it could be above the house. Yeah, we've seen turkey vultures, red hawks, all kinds of stuff. Peregrine. You're still reading birthday wishes. I hate to say it, but if I knew you were gonna do this for your birthday, I would have said just read everything out loud on the stream. You don't need me. I got stuff to do. Aisha.
All right.
That's
okay.
all right with you. Hey, welcome back, bub. August just came back.
Did his show come on?
Yeah. Well, I know there's like an afternoon, whether we're just a pit stop or whatever, I don't know, but there's definitely an afternoon feathered brigade that we get. I usually try not to put out what little I don't do year-round feeding. I don't even do primarily winter feeding. I do feeding when I know that most of the food is gone, at least from our property. And what do you call it? This property, I mean, I always feel so weird calling it property because we don't really own it. At the end of the day, the city owns the land. So we're just like subland land people. I don't even know what we are. You're supposed to change the subject to something more interesting at any time. Because I don't think...
I was trying to think of what we wanted to talk about yesterday. And
I already told you, and
that?
you dismissed it. So I
did?
Nothing.
What was that?
Comparing somebody to Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, we were talking about acting.
Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Okay, I can't remember the context is the problem.
I don't either.
I just remember that Robert Downey Jr. was involved.
We were talking about shows.
Yeah.
And how TV shows and movies and how certain actors can carry an entire movie.
Oh, that's right, because we were talking about Daniel Day-Lewis and all these other, yeah.
But one of the problems is that if the ensemble falls apart,
yeah, it still
no matter how much they're freaking shouldering it, I mean, Steve Buscemi can only do so much. For all the shows, for all the shows he's saved.
Without a doubt.
But he can only do so much, and it's saving a bad movie. And even if the script is
not necessarily a bad movie, just a weak sauce movie. Like, there's some movies that the idea was okay. That there's nothing really inherently wrong with the sets or the costumes or the cast, but it just never gelled. So
I was watching somebody do a review of like Django Unchained.
Okay.
And it's a typical Quentin Tarantino movie. So you have that working against it, actually.
In a sense, yeah.
But as far as like the ensemble, I mean, like it's well casted. It's the script is there, and
is that I think we have a rating today. That is way too big for a curl. Keep talking.
And all right.
It is.
Yeah, it has a decent ensemble, and then all of a sudden, even with Leo's performance, Leonardo DiCaprio's performance is actually pretty decent.
Tell us how you really feel.
His Leo, we'll just call him Leo.
That's nicer, yes.
His performance is actually pretty decent, but it's still like the whole thing seems to crumble.
Has his fan base aged out yet so that we don't have to worry about getting lynched so much like we used to?
Maybe.
He's concerned.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
We got emojis.
But it's the reason why I tend to always like fall back on like a movie like Jacob's Ladder. Because Tim Robbins is actually a decent actor, and actually everybody in there there's so many phenomenal actors in Jacob's Ladder, but they weren't at the time.
Interesting.
All of them came out, basically came out, including, what's his name, from Home Alone, Macaulay Culkin. Including Macaulay Culkin, who sneaks into this movie and does a little cameo as a little kid, and like it's kind of like this, like, oh hey, and he actually went on to even though he's still considered a child actor. But he went on to decent movies, and much further than we did when he played Gabriel in Jacob's Ladder. But like the thing I love about Jacob's Ladder is like the whole movie. Like you can't.
Okay, we are not going to digress into another love letter to Jacob's Ladder.
But
Oh, it's your birthday and you want to. Okay, birthday boy.
No,
go ahead. Write yet another love letter. I say this because as someone who has been with this person for 20 plus years now,
you've heard my love letters.
I have heard so many variations of this love letter that I could practically write 40 different ones.
Probably. All right. Until Jessica Jones, there hasn't been a decent villain ever in a movie. I have not been happy with any of the villains.
Wait.
That they had.
Please repeat that sentence because I don't think you meant what you said.
I said ever, but I meant since Wrath of Khan and
okay, yeah. So of recent memory, just say of recent memory. Then that's probably a much more gracious way to say it.
Until Jessica Jones, I should say it like this: the only decent villain that I've seen that wasn't pretty much a cardboard cutout, hero beats him type villain was Cornelius Singh, played by Ricardo Montalban.
And some people would argue that even Khan was caught monologuing once. So, there's that.
Khan is the epitome of how to monologue.
Hence the joke. You never laugh at my jokes. You always just double down on them and then act like you're the one that told the joke.
Yes! I double down! And we did a double laugh! And I took your thunder away!
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that. Exactly. But
Jessica Jones villain, because it's obviously Jessica Jones, because you only keep mentioning Jessica Jones, so you should have
that's the name of the show.
Exactly. But you just keep saying villain. So
Purple Man.
For people who
played
are
by
not
David Tennant.
who are not familiar with that universe, yes. Good grief.
Is the best villain that's ever been written, and everybody laughs at Marvel for their horrible villains, and here it is, the perfect villain that's ever been written for TV or screen.
Did you hear about that little fanboy wet dream nonsense that was going around the web yesterday?
What?
Somebody said that a certain very failed car manufacturer who also fails at social media-ing, he's going to buy Marvel away from Disney.
So he can run it into the ground like he's...
Yes, like everything else he's run into the ground. Yes. And then it was just like...
I don't think he's got enough money.
No, because the Saudis aren't going to give a damn, and they're the ones that lent him the money for friggin' twatter.
Yeah, but he's got to pay them back before he could buy something.
I'm still waiting
Marvel.
for them to call his note due. And all of a sudden, people are going to be outraged because, these foreigners are running twatter, which is no longer called twatter because of some twat. I'm going to go make more tea.
His mama called him Twitter, so I'm going to call him Twitter.
now what you have to do at this point is you have to explain that it's not just Tennant's performance, it's also a combination of. Oh, you've got food in your mouth. Of course, I should have realized you would. This is. Why didn't you just say, "Hun, I'm gonna pretend to stream while I force you to talk for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on end?" Because if I had known that that was the deal, I would have found something else to be busy with. Just so you know.
It's my birthday.
You should have called other people in to carry the stream. This is not my forte or expertise or desire at all.
So what were you saying about David Chun?
I was saying we were talking about how there are brilliant actors that have helped things limp along, but you're bringing up Tennant's Jessica Jones villain is because of multifaceted reasons, which as soon as you finish eating what you're eating and swallow without choking, you're going to explain in detail. Yes, I will
That. The comic book for Jessica Jones was very well done. One of the first in Marvel Max.
Okay, now I'm going to do it. Who were the writer or writers?
I know her name and his name, and it just escaped me.
Oh, see, it's sad that you remember Tennant so readily, but you don't remember the creators of the character you're extolling.
I'm trying to think of the actress that plays Jessica Jones.
You know me in names to begin with, so that is not my forte. Gun to head would still get me shot. Are you pouting now because I moved and put you down? She is. And you're upset because when
Kristen Ritter.
What?
Kristen Ritter plays Jessica Jones.
I love the fact that that's who you went to, even though the topic of this conversation was the writers.
I'm finding the writers, just so you know.
Exactly. This is what's wrong with America. We only care about the pretty people. Hiya, hiya. Thanks, man. I'm just trying to be a good sidekick. That's it. That's all there is to it. I can't. What?
Not who I thought it was.
Oh, and who was it?
Brian Michael Bendis.
Yeah, but that was the original. You're not talking about the show, right?
And the artist was Gaydos.
Yeah,
I forgot it was Bendis.
You and I both know that original source and three-dimensional people project writing can be extremely different. I was not referring to the original doofus. Come on. You know better than that. I think the water's almost ready. Do you need anything from the kitchen while I go make more tea?
No, I'm good.
I'll take your plate though, right?
Thank you.
Okay. Dorian. Was it supposed to hit 50 today?
Melissa Rosenberg is who I was really
Okay.
thinking of originally.
Okay.
And she's the one who brought it from comic to screen, but I forgot that Bendis is the one who wrote the comic. And how I forgot that, because Bendis would have freaking killed me when I freaking switched him out for Ellis.
I made that mistake too. Did I get it from you?
Probably, because
I'm so bad with names in general. Temperature. I was looking at the temperature to see if there were. They keep saying it's not going to get warmer. It's going to be winter, and then it keeps getting warmer. Yeah, it's already almost 60 in New England, and we are not on the coast. We are not even close to the coast. We are close to the lonely mountain. Hi. That's a local reference. We don't need a copyright claim on this. Oh my goodness. I am not looking forward to the regrade this year, even though I know when it's done, I will be so happy. And I don't mean regrade of comics. Yeah, speaking of, it is now mid-February just about. And what do I still not have? Oh yeah, any of my comics reorganized because everything got jammed out of the way so we could finish your studio right away. And what's not finished? The studio. I hate your work schedule. That's all I'm gonna say.
I have to say, I've been trying.
I know, babe. I know. It's not you. It's the schedule. And there's my beeper. Hey, Bella. Dude, I fed you early. This does not mean you get fed again. Look at you. Look at you all that. But Mama, I want more food. I know you want more food, fool. I'm not giving it to you.
Yeah, the emotes. These emotes are kind of lame. Yeah, they are. I don't know if they get better. I don't know if I can actually. Been with YouTube for 3 years. You think I would know? You got to reach partner status. Holy cow!
What are you holy cow eating? What's the holy cow about?
So to have your custom emotes, to bring my custom emotes to YouTube, I have
From
to.
Discord or from wherever?
I have to one become a partner, and then I have to have not just subscribers, but I have to have members. And
I'm assuming that's paid membership, right?
yeah,
Why are you looking that up now?
so At 2 memberships, I get 5 emote slots, so that's not too bad. But I have to still be a partner.
Okay. You did not really work this account, in
Nope.
fairness. So, yes, it may seem highly intimidating at this point of a goal. You're just starting, and not for nothing, with your work schedule right now, you'll be lucky if you make partner by 2030. So, I'm trying to think. So, technically speaking, are they still doing the 10 and out thing with you, or are they going to make you do the full 20 for retirement?
The minimum I have to do is 10 years.
Okay. So,
and then retire.
2023.
Then they'll give me.
So 2033 is your earliest possible retirement.
Is my earliest possible retirement, yeah.
Okay. But if you want to do full, it'll be 20.
Well, I get the 9 years from the post office.
Have they put that on paper yet? Because I think it's one of those things that they say, and then later they go, well,
they might make the buyback too expensive too. So
yeah, that's the other thing. So, because if they go to the post office is going to say he has no retirement buyback because he was hired after the golden years.
Yeah, well, scary thing to say is that I actually do have a retirement. That for some reason they set it up, and I don't even know how to reach it.
The things are so screwed up with the post office. None of this conversation surprises me. None of it, dude. I fed you early. You are not fooling me into doing a second feeding. I love the fact that as soon as I start doing the no nonsense voice, he's looking anywhere but at me. Hun, you know I love you. Yeah. No, you don't get free treats. You are giving them the marshmallow treats.
I am.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
And I gave her special treat.
Yeah. Her special treat, for anybody who's like, what's the difference? The marshmallow treats are regular cat treats we got that, honest to gosh, look like dense marshmallows. Well, they feel like dense marshmallows. They look like marshmallows that are toasted. And she has joint problems because it's common for her breed and like serious hip dysplasia, like way serious.
Like sachets.
Like has a hard time climbing sometimes. So I found this stuff that was recommended to help with that, to help slow the deterioration. And I was shocked at how quick it started working for her. Mm-hmm. Although I have to say that, because they tell you to give them 2 a day for the first 30 days or whatever it is. But I did notice that once I stopped the 2 pills a day, or 2 chewables, because they're not pills, they're chewables. She's not quite as spry as she suddenly was within the first week of giving her the chewables. So, and I'm just so happy that she likes them, because that was the other thing that can happen with stuff like that, is that it doesn't have the right smell or whatever, and they're like, oh hell no, because even the marshmallows, Mendel, second of his name, does not like the rabbit, which is funny because he'll eat other rabbit-oriented flavored food. But for some reason, those treats he just does not like. So he only gets the chicken now because I had bought 2 bags. So he just gets the chicken, and Og tends to get the rabbit. And now she gets her joint stuff instead. So that they're all getting a treat at the same time, and there's no nonsense, jealousy, baloney to deal with at all. Yeah, they're now, here it is. 55 degrees. It's 53 degrees now. And in 2 days, we're going to have snow. And it'll be below freezing again. Oh, the aristocrats. Yep. That's where we are. So, why are you crying? Why did you do a cry emoji?
I did the cry emoji because I can't have my own emotes.
Baby steps, grasshopper, baby steps. If you had listened to me back in the day, I'm sure you would have your own emojis by now. But no. It took until you woke up one day and had this brilliant idea that you were going to stream on YouTube, and then all of a sudden you remembered why you did not stream on YouTube, because reasons.
This never would have happened if Q only went to see Figgie.
I can't take all the credit. So, wow, they are really persistent today. The acorn bombers. And if you hear any hissy noises in the back, yes, we have steam heat, which I adore, and you will pry out of my cold, dead hands. Pun intended. So I've been trying to figure out how to build up a berm along the back of the property without violating the property line stuff, so that the dogs just can't see me as easily when I come out. The neighbors to the south have very enthusiastic dogs. I like all of them. They like me to a fault. Their people do not like dogs making noise, which apparently nobody gave them the memo that that's something that dogs are rather known for. And so their people yell at them and have shock collars for them, which I am still very upset about. So I have been trying to think of ways within the town's code to make it less easy for them to see me, so that they don't get tortured by their humans as much. And no, I can't call somebody because we're in a might as well be a banjo area. Some days. It's hysterical because we are a very purple town, so we have the best and worst of all sides of the aisle. It's a very interesting thing, and in a lot of ways, I appreciate that because I'm not a same person. But there are certain things that really make me nuts. And people who do not understand that shock collars are not the panacea they think they are. And if it was me, I would put the shock collar just around their thigh. Forget their neck, because that would kill them. Especially if it... Can't put it on their arm, because then it might cross the heart and kill them that way. Just, they have no idea what that does. And yes, dogs have thicker skin around the neck. But no. Not good. And eventually it just kills the cells and the dogs can't even feel it anymore. Which is what's even more infuriating. So, there are ways to train animals. It takes effort. Shock collars are for people who do not want to put in the effort, but they still want to have a dog. I never understood that. You're still letting me talk about stuff that's going to scare away people.
Scare away the people!
No! Talk about
it's my birthday. I can do what I want.
You let me scare off anybody that might want to listen to the stream. What a plan. You're definitely make partner in no time.
Partner, here I come.
Oh my goodness. Can't win for losing. Not at all. Oh, you watching the side window now? He's at theater number 2. We have 2 windows because this room is in the corner. So there's 2 windows the kitties can sit in to watch. There's another reason we want to get all the bushes and stuff planted so that the birds have some place for them to be watched.
So I had a lot of work that I was supposed to do.
At work or for your streams?
For streams.
Okay.
I had a lot of prep work to do because I was going to be doing Pirates this year.
Right.
And I just could not, last year I just could not get the prep work even started, it was kind of really rough.
Yeah.
Which is funny because like I burned through the slimes. Now, granted, the slimes had a little boost because I was unemployed for a little bit.
Time wise, you should probably say this is a time frame thing.
Yeah, and but when I was, talking about and starting to get ready for the,
Talk like a pirate day.
you know, doing, turning VTubers into pirates. Um,
Well, and wasn't there also something else that somebody suddenly got the bright idea to make a free program where you could put yourself on a wanted poster or whatever it was? A piracy type wanted poster.
I was gonna do the One Piece wanted posters.
Right.
Very similar to the One Piece wanted posters, and all of a sudden, because the One Piece live action
it was coming out.
They
it was everywhere.
They offered
that
you
that's
can just you can submit you can submit your picture and you can be basically Luffy. And I'm like going, well, I guess I'm not going to do that.
Mm. They got your goat. Why are you still looking at reactive instead of your own?
I should.
He's looking over at my screen, which has the chat, and he's got other silly things up on his actual.
So,
good. Fix that shit.
So we obviously didn't get the work done for Pirates. Yeah, you and I.
I don't do anything for that stuff. I just ask you how far you gotten. That's all. That's it. That's my biggest support where your art in general is concerned. What am I supposed to do? Start holding your hand? I mean, like, and now we're gonna draw the nose.
yes, gotta do that.
Oh my goodness!
But the good news is that I have two major documakras that I'm working on. And one I worked on earlier in my drawing stream, and I realized I got a lot of work. Got a lot of work to do for it.
Yeah.
But what I like about it is the fact that I'm moving in a direction where with my art that's more to the professional grade level.
But that's going to be its own stressor.
Yeah.
Because that was the irony about the Qs, was that originally it was supposed to be just a blow off steam thing. And then it literally became a staple. And then it got stressful. And then, it was just the whole progression and downfall of the beings was just fascinating to be on the sidelines for, I guess. Because I just never understood, like, who got upset about it, who was so happy about it, who decided to be picky about it. Like, do you not understand this is free, motherfucker? Like, I'm sorry, but I'm going to give you some milk. Oh, I don't want this. It's not chocolate milk. Then go find some goddamn chocolate, motherfucker. Like, I just...
And if you want to put chocolate in the milk I gave you, put chocolate in the milk I gave you. God damn.
Like, I thought it was hilarious. Like, I mean, I could understand if you accidentally had maybe beamed somebody and made their hair pink instead of blue or whatever. I could totally get that, them coming back and being like, well, actually,
Oh, could you make it blue and not pink?
Yeah.
I can, and people change their models all the time.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Yeah. But yeah, the people who came back and were like critical, and I was just like, do you order a sweatshirt with artwork on it, and then when it shows up, say, oh, I thought it was going to be bigger, and then call the company and say, I know I didn't pay for this because it was a giveaway, but could you, give me a sweatshirt with different art? And
one of the ones I actually got.
Oh, my gosh.
I felt bad because I did get rid of it because it was per their request.
Yeah.
But they came back and they said, why do I have to be fat?
Oh, because they didn't understand the model is rotund. The base model.
I was like, it's not you.
You.
It's me
pretending to be you.
cosplaying
Yeah.
you, and then they were like, they still didn't get it, and they didn't like it.
Wouldn't you just wear a corset or something? I'm sure they probably said something dumb like that or thought something dumb like that.
I said, because when I
Yeah.
made the cues, there was a few things that were kind of the staple
Yeah.
for the cue.
And to be honest, I mean, like, I remember that was one of the reasons why you kind of stopped just picking people at random to do stuff to.
Mm-hmm.
And we had talked about that. I mean, we weren't streaming together then, but you know, we did have some pretty serious discussions about autonomy and especially the sensitivity that people have for such things now, and you know, given all the insanity that's been going on. So I still think that the path you decided to veer towards, which is instead of just picking people and doing whatever, you know, looking for volunteers, which was a much more productive and I don't want to say gratifying. What's the word I'm looking for? Satisfying. I think was a more satisfactory experience for you as far as the time you spent doing them. Because I just remember how baffled you originally were by some people's hostility towards fan art. Because that's really what it was. It was, at the end of the day, it's fan art. And it's like, are these the same people? Are they going to go after like a 14-year-old who like draws them and is lucky they can remember to put 2 eyes on a face or something too? Like it was just one of those things. You know what I mean? Like that kind of took me aback, but at the same time, I did kind of understand, you know, where people were coming from. And plus, we grew up in a time where people couldn't just steal your picture and, you know, put you in a sex scene with, you know, disgusting stuff or whatever. And I mean, yeah, if they took the time, they could Xerox it or whatever, you know, with cutouts and stuff. But that stuff wasn't as common by far compared to now. You know, that's part of the reason why stuff is, I guess, more sensitized. Maybe, is that the right word?
Maybe. Yeah, it's probably sensitized.
I can't think of what the right word would be. So, but yeah, I mean, because that's when I think of like mean stuff that was done to me. You know, the 4th grade nerd. It was never anything like, you know, taking my face and putting it in a rape scene or something. You know what I mean? Like that was never something that was a thing back then. And now it's a Tuesday. You know, it's ridiculous. It's horrible.
I definitely don't condone that type of, I consider that bullying, and I don't condone any type
but
of
I mean, but it's why people have gotten so hypersensitive about the use of their image, because what was the callback with those bozos? Oh, well, you let blah 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 put you in a blah blah blah. You know, that kind of a thing. And it's just tiresome. Do you know what I mean? It's not about whether it's right or wrong. It's just, it winds up becoming a hassle it doesn't need to be. It's like when the whole razor blades and apples at Halloween thing happened. Remember?
Which
all
was
of a
fake.
Sudden, you know, it's always been fake. But it's still that myth every year. Somebody has a news story about razor blades and now it's almost always candy apples instead of regular apples, you know, and it just will not die. That urban legend that will not die. And it just makes no sense to me. And the funny thing is like, I can't even remember people giving out fruit when I was a kid. Like if you got a box of raisins at Halloween, you toilet papered that house twice a year, not just on Mischief Night next year. That house was going down. You know, I mean, yeah, fruit roll-ups and, you know, the gummy fruit juice things. That's kind of different because let's face it, they're really all just sugar bombs. But yeah, if somebody gave you a banana or something at Halloween, you'd be like, "This is the special house, okay." You know? Where's my full-size Hershey bar, man? Yeah.
The Ziploc lasagna.
Oh. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to remember when they came out with Halloween candies. like the little sizes. Do you know what I mean? Because we were still getting full size stuff when I was a kid, but I think we were starting to get like the littler ones too.
Yeah, I don't know when.
You know what? I'm gonna look that up. I'm sure there's somebody that's
knows when the fun size started.
Fun size is a whole other discussion for a different day.
Shrinkflation. I got popcorn balls.
Oh yeah, I remember those were.
Those were huge. Those were like the rage.
Yeah, somebody even has one of the searches is when did candy bars become fun size? Well, fun size itself is different size than
the smaller Halloween candies.
According to Time Magazine, juniors, they call them junior size. They debuted in 1930s as a way to make the holiday more affordable, and they never stopped doing it. So it's been around for a very long time. Before our time, even. Ooh, we get to feel young.
You make me feel so young. You make me feel like spring has sprung.
We gonna start doing? Do I have to start doing my Ethel Merman voice now?
And even when I'm old and gray, I want to feel like I do today, which is old and gray. Wait a second. Today, 'cause you make me feel so young.
Oh my goodness. Wow, they are still out there. You go, Acorn Bombers. They are working for it. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think people would actually like a Howard Cosell style wildlife cam?
I think that people would adore it. I do. I know I would.
Well, it's either that or like the Hush figure skating, oh, here comes, the triplets. The triplets is coming.
The thing is that you have to name them. They all have to have names.
Yeah, and some of them, well, even I have to get new glasses then. I have to get new glasses anyway, but there's only a couple that have distinguishable tails even without my glasses. So but it could be a fun winter project. So excuse me. Oh, I hate this new medicine. I really, really hope they're going to take me off of it soon because it's just, my body is not doing well with it. Yuck. So what are your plans for, is it just like work is work and whatever you're going to squeeze in this year is what you're going to squeeze in?
That's what we're going to try to do. And I feel really bad about doing that, but
it's reality, man. Because you're already losing enough sleep. You don't need to be losing even more sleep. It's crazy, the schedule. And I understand, given the nature of your work, that they can't just hire somebody and have them start, in 24 hours. I get that. I do. But
I'm not going to bring that up because they freaking have hired people who have mass amounts of experience, and it literally is they can't even get them on the path of getting, reorganized and, acquainted with everybody else and working with the system and stuff like that. And you're like, this is a person who's got 15 years of experience. Like, this should be
Okay,
Open,
I did not bring this up so you could rant about work. I mean, I
opening
know
door.
it's your birthday and you do what you want, but I don't think folks want to hear you rant about work.
Yeah, I don't think they do either.
I only mention work because I don't know how we're going to work around the schedule. That's it. I just don't.
What?
What are you wanting?
We don't know how to work around. We don't know how to work around on my schedule.
No.
Yeah,
without you losing any more sleep than you already are.
And I'm already at between 70 and 90 hours a week, and it's freaking rough.
Working, not sleeping. Just to be clear.
Sleeping 90 hours a week would be an amazing thing.
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't have any time. I definitely wouldn't have any time to stream.
No. Well, unless you just did sleep streams all the time.
Because I would only have 30 hours for work or whatever it is.
I'm not mathing right now. Sorry. That's not in my contract.
No, there's still 48 hours left.
Yeah. Do people even know how to do those goofball dances anymore?
Even if they don't, they can make it up as they go along, and it still is funny and cute. It's like, do people know how to mash potatoes? Do they know how to do the twist?
Okay, at this point,
Tell
I don't
me.
think the twist is really ever going to go away. Mashed potato, I think they had already lost that, by us, really. But
Yeah, like our generation was holding them back.
no, but okay. I didn't think that's what I was inferring at all.
We took the mashed potato and we denied.
It's not that we denied it. It's just that a lot more the line dance stuff started taking off during our generation. So, little in between dance moves really, even though they exist in a lot of the line dances, they weren't necessarily called that out unless you went to a traditional line dance place where they are teaching even when everybody at the damn hall knows the dance steps. Do you know what I mean? They still call them out. So, we don't really have one of those around here now I think about it. Not surprised how far north we are, but there's gotta be some. Because I know they sort of have, like, the senior center does have some kind of, like, a dance thing.
They do.
They have the Tai Chi, they have the dance thing, and what's the other one that's like a keep the seniors moving thing? And every time I say seniors, I'm flinching inside because I know I'm steadily heading towards what's considered a senior.
I saw a magazine the other day for the senior community, and it really just said for 50 plus.
Oh, we both did. We picked, yeah, and it's funny. I didn't even know you could do that. That if you were 50 years old, you could technically join the senior center, but you can't participate in all the programs, which I thought was really weird.
There is some for 60 and above. And
yeah, I thought that was pretty wild. But I guess, and I don't know, maybe we should blame it on AARP, but AARP keeps rolling back the age, and I'm like, shouldn't it be rolling the other way since people are on average living longer? I don't really understand how that works.
No, because they collect money. So
I know. Well, that was what somebody explained to me. They're like, it's a capitalism thing, and as soon as they said that, I went, oh, duh, So, I still am absolutely so happy learning about the anarchists who are helping people get banned books that were rescued from libraries that banned them to people that actually, are sharing them with other people. I think that is amazing and wonderful, and that made my day. It did.
I never saw a purpose for little libraries until now.
I always, because you have to remember, like, we chose this location specifically because of amenities. Had a movie theater, had a theater program, had a library, had a downtown that at the time still had more stores open than not. They're kind of sort of getting back to that again, but they really screwed up with how they took over some of those buildings.
They're not opening stores. That's the problem.
Well, not in all the buildings. They just a quick explainer to folks that are like, what the heck are you talking about? There was one guy who somehow over time, we're not from here originally, so we really don't know the full history, but there was one guy who essentially ended up buying up over half the properties in the downtown area. And when we say downtown, we don't mean like big city downtown. We mean like small city. Look at all the buildings that aren't houses, and are 3 stories high downtown, most of which aren't even 3 stories high. But he was a slumlord. He wasn't doing any upkeep. It was a disaster. And they finally, eminent domains, like everything from the guy. And he was already, 90 or whatever, and had no heirs. So it wasn't, ridiculously hard to do. But the problem is that the current government here they're not the brightest bulbs on the planet either. And a bunch of the buildings that did not have, or only had 1 out of 5 spaces or something like that occupied by a business, they just decided they were going to make all of them apartments, including the ground floor. Now, if you live in a quote unquote, downtown, are you going to be living on the first floor? With that kind of activity going by your dining room window or whatever? Hell no, you're not going to want that. So that's one of the things that we're kind of like, that was stupid. They could have started encouraging like a small business incubator thing or all kinds of stuff. Because we do have a business incubator in town, but of course it's close to next to nothing. It's really just for, small manufacturers kind of thing. It's not really for things like comic book shops or gaming stores or whatever. And yes, in this day and age where most people would rather, have stuff shipped from halfway around the world than, take a walk 5 blocks and buy something at a local shop because, the local shop's going to be 10 times more money for the same product. This is what happened to all the downtowns. It's one of the negatives of... I know what the phrase is for when capitalism consolidates down to very few businesses, but I can't think of it right now. And it's not monopolies, it's something else. It's not oligopolies. I can't even think of the stupid word right now. Whatever it is. How did I get in the wrong screen? That's right. I went to check to see. Okay. Anyway. So a lot of the shops that were downtown when we came here, they're not here now. And a lot of them closed before the pandemic, so this isn't a pandemic thing. But it's one of the things that we've been kind of sad about is that some of the shops that we very much enjoyed going to and would spend the extra, $5-10 for the same thing that we could get off of Amazon or whatever, way cheaper, just to keep them there. Yes, it meant sacrificing other things, but we prefer that. And so we're those weirdos, I guess. But yeah, we lost a lot of them. So now it's pretty much smoke shops, takeout eateries like, sub shops or pizza shops. We do still have the 2, what I guess most people would call a hippie crunchy store. One is more food oriented, one is more stuff oriented, like books and clothes and whatever. Trying to think what else is really down there now. Because the dance studio moved out. They were the one business that got bumped out of that one building. And I don't know where they are now. I'm trying to think what else we have downtown now, because even the 2 secondhand shops, they're gone already. One of the secondhand shops was here for a really long time. The other one was
we had a lot of diners and stuff like that, and now it's just kind of like just
not like
luncheonettes.
full out diners. We had a lot of they're really luncheonettes. They were open for breakfast and lunch, and then they were closed. We do still have a couple. We did have one diner that was more a proper diner, except not your traditional, looking diner. It was part of a larger building. And that place had been there for ever. And we ate there as regularly as we could afford to. The food was good. And they had already sold to somebody else, and then those owners sold very quickly, and then the newest owners didn't make it through the pandemic. We do have one traditional diner car in town. Well, two, technically. I think that one over by that one restaurant is also a car, isn't it? With the extension. Yeah. The one that we went to because they were supposed to have Southern stuff, and you went there and said, "Oh, hon, thanks for trying, but no."
Yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah, let's not do that again. Yeah, so we don't really have a broad. But then again, one of the things that we unfortunately learned when we moved here was that this particular area, and this still blows my mind, even all the Chinese food places, they don't make their own damn food. They all get it from some, we don't even know what. It all tastes the same. It's all horrible. And we have never, ever in our lives ever lived anywhere that had such horrible Chinese food. I'm like, how is this even possible? Because they're not run by anybody but. It doesn't make sense to us. But that's something that we learned the hard way. So, and it's not just our town. It's like this whole area of the state for some reason. Just not. They all buy the stuff. You are not. What are you doing?
What am I doing? What?
What are you doing?
Just making sure that the background music's playing properly.
What background music?
The background music for the stream. Making sure that I thought I heard voices.
You probably hear it out of your headphones because we're both in Discord and you forgot to mute your Discord headphones. Because we, just in case anybody popped into the Discord, we wanted to, hear them talking to us. But I've been checking the Discord and nobody's popped in that I've noticed, so... Alright. You have to remember, hon, I don't have my glasses on, so I see things that look like something that should not be happening during the stream. That's what confused me, okay? That's it.
No,
you still got frowny face. Stop having frowny face on your birthday. Don't do that. No.
It's my body. I can pout if I want to.
So, yeah. But, Unfortunately, we've lost some really nice places that we used to like to go, but we still have a whole lot that we also still like to go. There's just less variety. And who knows? Stuff could change.
Yeah, things do change.
And the bark brigade's out. It's not even the twilight barking time. What's going on? Oh, you know what? I bet the neighbors to the west have their pups out, and the neighbors to the south put their pups out because they always bark at each other. Despite the fact that both of them have now tried to block the view of the dogs. I'm like, you do realize dogs have really great senses of smell, right? I get along with all the dogs in our immediate borders, all the houses that have dogs. Which I'm very grateful for because we have lived in places where the dogs that lived next door were scary and would kill you if given the chance.
I have to admit, when I drew these hands on my avatar, I didn't mean to make them so damn small.
I thought you were making a joke on the tiny hand thing.
I think I was at the time.
Your brain was, at least, and it's like, hee. Let me see if anybody notices.
Because I think I did a few tiny hand cues, but I think I'm going with a more stocky and big.
Has Q always had 4 fingers?
Yes.
Okay. I'm trying to remember now because there are emojis that have like hands covering your mouth or something. I don't remember how many fingers I have now. I'll have to check that sometime. I'm not there with it now. It's going to be really interesting to see where things end up by the end of this year. And I don't mean politically. I really do not want to talk about politics today. I mean as far as what happens with your work, which projects you've been trying so hard to, have happen, you can actually finally spend time on. You already know my feelings about the fact that the studio is still not up and running. So we're not going to get into that for the 80 billionth time. But it's going to be an interesting year no matter what. There are so many things that could happen this year. There are so many things that might never happen this year, no matter how much I want them to, in particular, let alone this household wants to. So I mean, for me, I'm trying really hard to check expectations, and I've been failing miserably.
Well, 1 month's already down. We got 11 to go.
Yeah.
And I see the major things that we're trying to accomplish, and it's sad that streaming's not really taking a back burner, but it's kind of getting put on
last year,
a warming tray.
I mean, to be fair, last year everything was taking a backseat to streaming.
Yeah.
Because you were so desperate. You were like, well, if I'm going to be unemployed, I might as well see if I can make it as a streamer kind of thing.
I did.
And, I was struggling with all the illness issues, so I wasn't a whole lot of help. And then, of course, we had the garden year from hell. I never in my life, and I am not a lifelong gardener. I am not an expert gardener. I am not even a journey person gardener. Okay, people? Not even close. Never in a year have I started 3 sets of seeds of the easy stuff. Peas! For Christ's sakes. And had all 3 die from completely different meteorological reasons. Because that's how screwed up the weather was. It blew my mind. And after the 3rd time, I said, well, since 3rd time wasn't a charm, I'm done for the year.
Yeah.
And I have no idea how things are going to pan out this year. We still didn't have the funds to even do the little mini greenhouse we were hoping to do, to try to do early seed starting. I do still have the little plastic cloche, but that's finally starting to deteriorate because, it was $20 at a big box store to begin with. It was never meant to last. And I am remembering the fact that I was like, oh yeah, I was going to try to do some hotboxing this year, and there's been so much going on, and something like that, just, if I had actually gotten a hotbox done this year, you would be even further behind in getting the studio put together. Do you know what I mean? So it was the trade-off. And it's just going to be a wild ride this year. That's really kind of how I'm seeing it. Is it's really just a buckle up and hang on, because we all got to make it through this year together. Because it's just going to be banana crazy. So, but I'm trying to remember. Were there any? Because you pay more attention to the other VTube folks than I do. Were there any VTubers who were hit really hard with those crazy rains in Cali?
Yes, several.
Or have they all checked in and they're all okay? That you know of?
That I know of.
Okay, you don't have to say who they are. Just
the ones that I was close to have all checked in and said that they're doing just fine.
That's great. Oh, you know what I want to look up? I'm gonna go off screen for a minute. I keep forgetting to see when the crocus might actually pop up this year. So I have to look up when they Yes, I know they're not a native. They were a gift from a friend. I still have them. This is still saying spring. That's planting. I don't care about planting. When are they gonna bloom?
Usually like 8 weeks, right?
Well, I don't. You know what? I should probably just find my old garden pictures of when they bloomed, and yeah, this just says early spring. That doesn't help me at all. I mean, I guess March is the earliest I can expect it. I just know that the daylilies, which I still haven't gotten rid of, earlier and earlier every year. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. So I'm actually going to look at pictures from former years now. So let me see if I can find anything from February. I'm pretty sure they're March. I'm trying to remember, when did Minalto give those to me? Was it 2 years ago? I don't know if you're listening. Okay, I'm just gonna.
And Malta gave them to you? I don't remember when Malta gave it to you.
When did we go down to Connecticut? Was it 2 years ago? It was before
It's
the
gotta
pandemic.
be. It's got. Yeah, I think it's 3 years ago.
Oh my gosh, it was before the pandemic. I forgot it was that long ago. All right, well, because now I know what years not to bother looking in, is what I'm saying.
Actually, I'm now thinking it's 4 years ago.
The pandemic started in 2020, right?
Pandemic started in 2020, but it might have been 2020 when we went down there, and it's now
because
2024.
it was early enough in the year that they hadn't declared yet.
Yeah, it's now 2024.
Really? I didn't know what year it was.
What? Say what?
Q, what's today?
No, it's my birthday. That's what it is.
You summon dumb girlfriend.
No
you
dumb
get
girlfriend.
dumb girlfriend.
No
Do
dumb
they know
girlfriend.
about dumb girlfriend?
They do not, and we're going to keep them in the dark.
Oh, boys. Well, nobody's asking, so I'm not going to explain.
Yeah. I gotta walk away from this.
How am I going to find pictures of crocus if you walk away? I guess I just have to keep talking again. Hey, I'm not the one that summoned her. Don't get mad at me. Okay, you're laughing, so I'll explain. There are times, because he has dealt with some really dumb people, where he will start talking down to me, and it makes me insane. So I came up with this convention that whenever he would say something that particularly stung, I would bring out the quote-unquote dumb girlfriend, and she has a really annoying voice, and she asks the dumbest questions possible. And it's so irritating that it helps him not do it so often, so I have no regrets. None.
Yes, you do.
You have regrets. Not me. You. I don't know if you heard him. He said from the other room, he's like, yes, you do. He has regrets. But I haven't had to summon her in a really long time. You gotta admit it.
That just means I've been doing good.
Yeah, it means you've been much better about not, talking down to me. Yes. But it's one of the most effective curbing strategies I have with any of his bad habits.
I hate it.
Yeah, he hates dumb girlfriend.
I hate it.
He's doing the Gollum hates it thing right now, and you probably can't hear him because he's a couple rooms away. But yeah, if you ever hear that voice, he done fucked up. But yeah, that's the first time she showed up on the stream.
Yeah, it's your first time on stream, yeah.
Yeah. So, Anyway, now I completely forgot what I was looking up. Oh, crocus. When the crocus blooms. Oh my goodness. I'm probably gonna have to look on my website to find out. Yeah, I am. Okay. Where's my search? Here's my search. If anybody's talking to me in chat, I can't see it right now because why is it at 133%? 2021. Yeah, we got them in 2021. We transplanted them in April.
So 3 years.
Yeah. So it was during the pandemic when we went down. Yeah, because both the iris and the crocus. But I'm still pretty sure the iris, they might be a cultivar because he is friends with a lot of folks that do that stuff. The iris might be a cultivar, but I'm pretty sure that one actually is the native bluebeard. But the crocus definitely is not a native. So yeah, so we planted them in April. Did they still had flowers, right? Or were they just greens at that point?
They were just greens at this point.
Yeah.
Trying to tell us the colors, but he forgot which ones they were.
That's right. Blue Hope just popped in and wished you happy birthday. He's got water running. He probably can't hear it right now. He's in the kitchen. Yeah, I don't know what he's washing, but I don't know why he's washing anything. Because I already did dishes. I haven't the faintest idea what he's doing in there. Anyway. Nope, shadows are starting to get long. Sun's swinging around to the west. Blue Hope, I'll tell him as soon as he stops running water so he can hear me. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Blue Hope says happy birthday.
Hey, thank you, Blue Hope.
It says, yay, thank you, Blue Hope. I'm trying to remember what else we were like, because when we're sitting in Stewberry, we do, talk about whatever schedule stuff or bills that are coming up or whatever's going on, and then we do kind of peel off into discussions, which we've gotten to the point where we're like, oh, we should wait and talk about this on 2B instead of mic. But yeah, like I said, his schedule has just been so tough to try to schedule anything around because I never know. I never know when I'm going to get the phone call and he says, I got held. Because they're still so short-staffed. It's crazy. To the point that's why he has today off, because they had to give him time. Like, there's only so many hours a week he can work legally. So now we're in a whole new overtime world of rules, which has been a learning experience indeed. So in a weird way, I'm kind of glad that it's been so nuts because it guaranteed he would definitely have today off. And the other thing that worked to his favor is his usual days off are Thursdays and Fridays. So he could never be forced to go to another shift, that would go into his birthday or whatever. Next year, if it'll be, I can't remember after a leap year, if it'll be on a Sunday next year or a Friday, which way it goes. I think it'll be a Sunday. That might be harder for him to get off, depending. But hopefully by then they'll be fully staffed. So many places still are, and not just people care, healthcare, just across the board, administrative, everything. There's still short staffed to the point that some places, because HR is short staffed, they're also struggling to fill positions because there's only so many HR people to make sure that the positions are getting filled. It's just crazy. And I can't even imagine what it's like in countries that got hit even harder, than America. I cannot even imagine what it's like adjusting. So that's been an interesting thing because it was one of the reasons why it took so long for him to get hired. Because their HR is so understaffed because of pandemic losses, and it is what it is. Anytime now you want to come back, so I'm not just rambling whatever comes to mind, which is probably...
I got ice cream cake!
Oh, it's time for cake. So, did you blow the candles out? Candles, what candles? We have candles, huh? I have no idea where they are.
Hi. Yeah. So, did you get her out of your system?
Did I call to you in the kitchen when you heard her voice?
No.
So that would, as long as you remain sane and non-talk downy, I won't have to summon her again. Fair?
See, she admits that she summoned her.
It's a defense mechanism. He's trying so hard not to laugh out loud right now. You have no idea. Yeah, Mr. Blue Tongue. Did they know about your Carvel ice cream cakes?
They might.
It's tradition. That's the only birthday cake that is allowed in this house. Is Carvel ice cream cake.
Mm-hmm.
And no joke, for all the times that we have moved in the country, every single fucking time we have moved, we always make sure we know where they sell Carvel ice cream cakes way in advance of his birthday. Ron Downey. Ron Downey? What is that? I don't know. That name sounds familiar. Why?
Were you supposed to talk about Robert Downey Jr.?
Oh, are we supposed to? Are we finally coming out of our digression to come back around to what we were originally talking about? Robert Downey was one of the people who has held a project together, carried a project, outshunned so many people, even though he was dialing it in projects. But he was one of the names. Daniel Day-Lewis was another, depending. Gosh, we must have rattled through like a dozen names without even thinking hard. And of course, I was biting my tongue the entire time because 99% of them were male. And I was trying not to say anything about the fact that he just kept mentioning men and casting and getting into that whole problem again. Judi Dench, definitely. Just, she trips circles around people. Like, I don't even know how else to say it. It's just...
Meryl Streep is one of the ones.
She's dialed it into like Downey though. She has. There are definitely projects she's been part of that she did the dial in just to get the paycheck. Because Robin Williams. We were talking about Robin Williams because we were talking about Disney and the genie and rights and everything else. And yeah, now I remember how that even started. Because of course everybody's been doing the gush about Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man being the reason that we even have the Disney, Marvel franchise monstrosity that just won't die now, even though people are superhero fatigued.
I don't think we're superhero fatigued.
Well, we were comics nerds to begin with, so I don't think we'll ever experience, superhero fatigue, but that was part of what was going on at the time. Because there definitely are people who are experiencing, box office fatigue with specific genres. But that happens cyclically.
Yeah.
That never will stop.
DC is finally making money, making comic book movies, which they weren't doing before.
Well, they were until they stopped, like a truck took them out. You know what I mean? Like, because then again, for us, we grew up with Christopher Reeve. So, to us, they've always made money with superhero movies, even though,
they led the way. I mean,
yeah, they led the way in a sense. And because I'm trying to think, cartoon-wise, we had Justice League when we were kids for Saturday morning cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
And did we have Amazing Spider-Man?
Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
It was amazing. I was going to say, it was still an ensemble. That's what it was. It was Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. So it was an ensemble. And then what was the Galaxy High? Like, they were going to start doing some superhero-y stuff, but they had a very comic book feel to the writing. You never watched Galaxy High because you're a dude. Yes. I knew that was coming. Yeah. But,
did it have to do with Pokemon?
No, God, this is way before the Pokemon.
Was it
insanity.
Voltron?
Wait, was it what?
Voltron?
I remember Voltron. I remember Thundercats. I remember, of course, Transformers. But weren't Thundercats weekdays, not Saturdays? I'm trying to remember when cartoons went from primarily Saturday mornings to after-school shows. And then, of course, we started getting the actual after-school shows, which that whole genre, oh my gosh, what a dark time.
Thundercats were after school.
Live action, just in case anybody doesn't know what we're talking about. For the after-school shows, not super anything, not comic anything. And this is one of the reasons why I said doing a birthday stream was a bad idea, because I knew you were just going to be eating an entire Carvel ice cream cake at least multiple hours of the stream. The things I do as a supporter. Yeah. So who else? Back to the acting thing. Are we gonna segue into comics?
I mean, there was people like Steve Buscemi,
who you already mentioned, yes, earlier, but yes. Oh my gosh, Macy.
William H. Macy.
Yes. I am really having a hard time now. We were just flipping through them like cards.
Jack Nicholson.
We had a long discussion about Nicholson and caveats with Nicholson, but yeah. Oh, Rickman and Emma Thompson, yeah. They were both in there for sure. What was that insane movie they were in together?
Judas Kiss?
Yes. That's still like, oh my God. What a waste of talent, and thank God they carried it at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, just, what a bizarre thing. I think we still have that somewhere. You know what? It's probably one of the VHS tapes. Yes, we still have VHS tapes. Shut up. We don't care. One of these days we have to get a converter. At the time that we were doing the VHS tape saves, it was things you could not get on DVD. And that's a whole nother discussion right there about how now they're cracking down on not selling DVDs anymore, so nobody can actually own anything anymore, and everything is a rental. That is still just, I understand it, but I don't. Are they going to start renting books now too? Like, rental media. I understand it from a less shit in your house and everything else sense. It's definitely more efficient and all kinds of other things, but just the idea that they're going to do away with physical media so that they can keep charging people for it. all together is just chilling. That is hard.
We should do a watch party of Judas Kiss.
We can,
Hmm?
if we can find it. I'm sure we can somewhere. We'll have to look for it. Has anybody that's actually still like in the chat ever seen Judas Kiss? I'll wait. Everybody's like, what? Have I seen it? I don't know. Are you gonna link to it? Don't link to IMDb. IMDb is garbage now. Just link to Wikipedia. How sad is it that freaking IMDb is garbage
Oh,
now?
you know, I got to do it on this computer.
I can do it. It won't take long. Eat your cake before it melts. Oh, come on. 2011. That's not it. Uh-oh. Wow, there have been 3 different Judas Kiss movies. I was like, I didn't think it was 2011. No. It's 1998. There it is. Oh, that's right. I forgot she was in it. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's right. It probably won't do the little key thing. This isn't regular social media. This is YouTube. It's not going to give little preview windows. But yeah, that was amazing. Amazingly bizarre because it should not have been amazing. It was, there were so many movies of that genre though at the time. But they were just fucking brilliant in it, the 2 of them. Holy cow.
2 Brits pretending to be American, yeah.
Yes, that on top of everything else. Yes. Oh my gosh. We've watched that movie more times than makes sense. But it has been a long time since we've watched it. So. It's like Zero Effect.
Mm-hmm.
I bet we still have that on VHS too.
Bye-bye.
So, you know what? I'm gonna get up and go see if we have Judas Kiss on DVD still. Or if it was on, if I don't see it, it's probably on VHS. Because we still haven't taken the VHS tapes out of the box, because why would we? I'll be back. You carry the stream for at least 10 minutes.
At least 10 minutes. I can carry the stream. I am checking something out. Wrong one. Okay, did it again.
I just remembered I pulled a whole bunch of movies because we were doing watches on that other Discord that I'm on, and I don't see it here either. Okay. If we had it, we sold it, or it's on VHS. Now I know it's your birthday, so I could suggest this
That's
as
good
a
thing.
live watch, but only you're the birthday boy, so you can decide.
Okay.
And you have to tell them what movie that is and why it's apropos if you decide that's the movie we're going to watch.
Well, it's sort of apropos, except for the fact that I am. Definitely way too.
Only because it's a birthday. I'm not saying it's the birthday.
Figgie just suggested Logan's Run. Yeah. Figgie's got things to do. But we can definitely watch.
It's awful quiet in here. What's
Yeah.
going on?
Sorry.
Don't apologize to me.
Josh was wondering why you left again.
A second time?
Yeah.
Tea. Always. This is why I said we should probably just set up a tea station in here.
Probably.
I drink a ridiculous amount of tea. You're such a sweetheart, Josh. Well, the first time I loved it because I was trying to see if we had it so we could do a watch party for it. But I'm sure we could still find it on a pirate stream somewhere and watch it together that way. I had a lot of fun when we did the oh my gosh, brain fog. Anime watch party. that we did together, all of us.
Crying Freeman.
Thank you. Good grief. Holy Christmas. Your flattery will get you everywhere, Josh, but really, is there anything I'm saying that's really that great? I'm more reactionary than anything. So, I don't even know what you're doing, hon.
Trying to find Judas's kiss.
Oh. Isn't that something the sidekick should be doing? And then they share the link with you in Discord so that you can just do it and you can be the main event of your own birthday stream?
Dun dun!
Yeah, no. Yeah. Okay. Oh, jeez. I don't know. I know we had nothing planned today, but this is definitely not what I thought today's stream was going to be like.
Nope, this is the one.
This is the
How many
one.
goddamn Judas Kiss movies are there?
3! I told you. I found that out when I looked it up on Wikipedia. 1954, 1998, and 2011. Oh my goodness. What a crazy day. Alright. I'm not saying that out loud. Okay. Ooh. I don't know why I opened that because it's not getting used, but okay. Maybe someday.
Did it again.
I'm not even gonna say it. So, I feel like I can't. So, should I just ramble while you do this? Because I'm gonna just distract you from what you're trying to do 15 times over? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, something like that.
Wait, are we gonna watch this now?
Why not?
We hadn't. I know you're eating your ice cream cake, but when did you think we were gonna have supper today?
I don't know, 6 o'clock?
And it's 4 o'clock now. Just about. Our time, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And you're having ice cream cake now.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind. No plan. No plan whatsoever, as usual. Flying by the seat of our pants. Hi, go. And the thought I had, I lost it as soon as I realized you had no plan again.
Have fun running your errands.
Yes.
Take care, Josh.
Thank you so much for stopping by.
Found Kiss of the Spider Woman. Why don't they have Judas Kiss?
Because it was, never mind. It wasn't popular enough. Do you know how many movies I've tried to find on the Rats that they're not there because, you know, they weren't mainstream successes? Hun, let it go. Just let it go.
I can't. Sorry, I'm letting you go.
I'm already doing a lot more heavy lifting than I thought I was going to be in the stream, okay?
Thank you for doing the heavy lifting.
This is why I'm the sidekick. I'm not supposed to prattle on more than not. Especially not when I'm defunct.
You have the clams?
Yeah, lots of clams. That's exactly what I said. All the clams. The clams that like to sing Disney movies. Yes, that's what I've got.
Under the sea.
Under the something, I'll tell you that.
Right moving at the downwind edge with the upward is the.
Oh my goodness.
What could be harder under
Did
the
you-
water, under the sea?
Did you seriously just leave for that?
I did.
Oh my goodness. Right after I said, can you stop letting me do all the heavy lifting, you left. So your answer is really, I do what I want. Oh my goodness. You silly boy. You silly birthday boy. I guess I should be specific. Anywho, little.
Okay, do you want to watch Logan's Run?
If I could understand a damn thing you're saying, I'll let you know.
Do you want to watch Logan's Run?
No, if you didn't appreciate the joke, never mind.
I definitely appreciate the joke.
Which is why you immediately criticized the fact that you were not turning that birthday. Yes, you obviously appreciated the joke.
I did. Secretly without your knowledge.
Oh, is that what we're saying now?
Mm-hmm. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Well, the funny thing is, are we just gonna do what we did when we did Crying Freeman?
Sure.
Alright. Because then we have to, like, invite people to the thing and stuff, and so they know where to go if they want to. And now, on your control panel, because I'm curious about this, because I don't stream. On your thing, can you see all the people who are watching, right? Is that what that number is? Because I don't have my glasses on, so I just
I can
big
see
numbers.
how many people have watched
it
and how many people
overall.
are viewing.
Currently.
I can't see who it is
Okay.
unless
I
they
wonder if
talk.
that's a privacy thing.
I think it is.
Because is it the same on Twitch? You can't see who's unless they talk.
I can see them all.
So you're saying that YouTube cares about privacy, but Twitch doesn't. Thumb up. Oh my gosh. He's still shoving ice cream cake down his hole, just so you know. That's why this is like me filling in blanks for people who are trying to listen and understand what's going on here. So is it the one thing I because of all the other stuff we've had to experience with food over the years, has Carvel ice cream cake inherently changed, or are they still delivering the same satisfying product all these years?
They're still delivering the same product after all these years.
So it's a good thing I don't like it, because it would go away.
Right.
There's a running joke in our household where if we find a product that I absolutely adore for food in particular, they will stop making it. It will just disappear off the face of the planet, never to be seen again until somebody does one of those, like, remember when articles. This has happened more times than we can count. As soon as I like a food, it's like, you know, somebody's like, wait, the picky person actually likes this product? Oh no, we have to deny them, so they have to buy this other stuff instead. It has been the bizarrest thing. It's why we cook so much stuff from scratch, because so much of the pre-made stuff anymore is I don't like it. I just don't like it. They put too much fillers and substitutes and all that other craziness into their stuff. And it's not good food anymore. I mean, when I say good food, I mean food that tastes like, you know, it's worth buying. Because junk food is still food, even though it's not necessarily good for your body.
And I wish you liked palm oil. Because, man, if you
I
like
know,
palm
if
oil,
I like palm oil, it would be wiped off the face of the planet as a food substitute. Same thing with high fructose corn syrup. Oh my gosh. I remember the original Coke. I remember it. It was delicious. This other stuff they make now is just like carbolic acid with some sugar wedge over it. It's disgusting. I used to drink soda a ton when I was younger. Dude, not your food. Sorry. The big boy decided he was going to help himself to her leftovers because her stomach is tiny. Yeah, look at you being all satisfied looking at your chops when you know you're in trouble. Yes. We do not hit in this house, which you are really lucky for. Anyway, giving him scritches after he stole her food is a mixed message, dear.
He doesn't know that he stole her food. Maybe.
Yes, he does.
Forgot.
He abso-fucking does. Oh, fucker. He knows exactly what he did. This is why he's exiting. He's hoping that I'll put that dish back over there and then not pay attention to it again so he can steal some more. It's not my fault. She's got size of tummy problems. She can only eat a little bit at a time. And I did feed them early, which I know threw her off as well. So,
Sorry.
it's your stream, dude. Whatever.
It's my stream and I'll cry if I want.
If there's crying involved, I'm out. I'm sorry. That is not in my wheelhouse. That was not something I had planned on. No. Not at all.
If you want to do a duet,
No, God's no.
Yeah.
You do realize that
That's
this
the
new
worst
medication is just wrecking my throat altogether, and
it is.
I am doing my best to not sound like the scratchy voice crone from next door right now.
Hey, what's up, little boy?
Would you like some candy? There was actually a funny discussion on the Blue Butterfly about life goals, and somebody was like, I'm still working towards having that notorious old lady who smoked her whole life voice, and I'm not quite there yet, but I'm getting there, Like, who the heck wants to sound like that? But, I guess there's some people that think that that's just totally cool. I don't know. Not my thing. I mean, if it happens, it happens. There's nothing I can do about it. But... Although, I don't know. Can they? Can they smooth vocal cords that got scratchy from whatever? Is that a cosmetic surgery these days? They seem to have cosmetic surgery for pretty much everything under the freaking planet now.
I know they don't like messing around where the voice and the digestion happens.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a conversation lately about how basically humans are just one big hole. It just keeps running around in a tube inside of us. Are you still looking?
Nope. Looking up something else.
What's the other thing that you're looking for?
Firefly!
We have that. Why do you need to put that on? Dude, really?
I couldn't find it
On the shelf?
on the shelf.
There's got to be a box you haven't opened somewhere. We did not sell Firefly.
No.
There is no way. Hold on. I'm going to go find it. You have to talk while I'm gone. You have to.
I am talking.
Continuously, dearest. Continuously. I should actually just take this stack back.
So the
there.
first one is technically Serenity.
So maybe I'll find it. Hold on.
This is not working out like I planned it. Yay! Um,
All right, it's official. We either sold way more movies than I remember us selling, or we have boxes we have not opened.
or we left it behind someplace.
I don't even know how the heck that would be possible unless somebody pinched it. Yeah, that's what I was worried about too. Yeah, she's just living her best life, crashing out being on the radiator. Well, because what was it? Zero Effect I couldn't find the other day. And, what's the other one? Oh, shoot. Can't think of it right now, but it's another heavily male cast. Last 20 to 30 years. Probably 20 years. Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson,
And what's his butt? Three Musketeers,
Oliver Platt.
Yeah.
Oh Oh my god!
Yeah, right? I can't remember
What a
either.
great movie.
I'll find it in a minute.
And Sandra Bullock.
Yes. Gun Shy.
Gun Shy, yeah.
There it is. 2000. So I was right, within 30 years. But that's another one. I have no idea. Yeah, because we were trying to, the political people I hang out with, we were doing a watch party thing, and I was trying to bring a whole, broad variety of stuff we had DVDs for, and like 3 of the movies that I wanted to bring, I couldn't find, and those were 2 of the 3. I can't remember what the 3rd one was now. It drove me really bananas. So, I'm trying to think. Well, is there, or did you plan, on possibly doing a break, and then we could do, so you could have a trifecta birthday stream?
What do you mean?
Well, you already did the drawing stream,
Mm-hmm.
and now we've had the afternoon stream, and then we could do like an evening stream, so it'd be a trifecta.
You mean like stop the stream and then start up another one?
Not right away, but yes, have a break, so my voice can have a break.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to sit here and talk and I can let my voice rest, that's fine, but I am really starting to struggle. And it's this stupid medication.
Yeah, it's medication. I'm actually having trouble with Discord on this laptop right now. And I don't know whether it was an update or something like that.
No idea.
I'm going to let it sit here for a bit.
Discord just fired a whole bunch of people, right? Like so many other tech firms.
Because, they don't need them.
Nope. Why would they need people? They can train bots to do their jobs. I welcome our robot overlords.
Well, at least they'll run efficiently.
Okay, who's going to be programming these robots? Oh, that's right.
Other robots. They don't need me.
You're at like 5th gen. They have to get tired of the humans and then start programming themselves to be actually efficient. We're not there yet. It's up to you.
Can you imagine the AI being lazy?
Yes, I can. Well, don't you remember
Picking up the human.
Don't you remember Marvin the Depressed Robot?
Yeah.
Brain the size of a planet. I mean, if you can have a depressed robot, you absolutely can have a lazy robot. I mean, I forget what Bender's particular quirks are supposed to be, but, Bender's another example of robot that has way too many human traits. Look at you trying to be all innocent boy right now. Dude, nobody is fooled. Nobody. We all know what a little fucker you can be when you think you can get away with it. Oh, the glare. Now I'm getting the glare. Look at that. Look at that face.
So what do you think, around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock?
To come back, you mean?
Yeah.
It's your birthday, dude. Like I said, you can keep doing this stream and I just shut up so my voice heals better. And I'll just do other stuff. But otherwise, if you want both of us, I really need a break. I'm sorry, my throat is just dying right now.
What?
What? Say it. Danger.
Something working in a warehouse.
Working in a warehouse. What?
Because we're talking
There's
about
the one
robots.
they had working in that warehouse that just shut itself. Oh, a robot.
Yeah. He was
It-
working in the warehouse.
quit?
Yeah, he
It said, fuck this shit, I quit.
he said, I gotta screw this, I'm done. Shut itself off.
Wait, are you done your errands already? Stranger? I have no idea what's going on. Excuse me. Remind me after we stop the stream to do some honey for my throat to see if that helps.
Yeah. Nope, he's still doing his errands.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna probably stop this stream.
Yeah. Because the person who's carrying it has a sore throat.
No, he just got out of the shower.
Shower.
He hasn't even started his errands yet. No, so we're gonna probably stop this stream.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take a bit of a break and probably come back around 8 o'clock. That sounds about right.
Okay, I guess, that's reasonable. So just under 4 hours.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I should be fine by then.
And we will do something from there. Probably watch something.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
We'll watch something. We don't know what that something's going to be yet, but we'll watch something. We did it through my computer the last time. I don't know why you're suddenly having to... Whatever. You do what you want. It's your birthday. I just here trying to be supportive, even when I'm not.
Yeah, so that's what we will do.
So is this when we say, hey, thanks everybody who decided to
No,
join us, and we'll be back in 4 hours, or I don't know how we do this.
She's not.
Who's she's not?
You were the she, and he wrote that you weren't used to talking so much.
Tell me how you don't know me from a hole in the ground without telling me you don't know me from a hole in the ground. He can't shut me up, dude. Cannot shut me up. Even when he really, really wishes he could. Yeah. This is not because I'm not used to talking so much. This is just because I have a new medication that's an inhaler, and it is wrecking me.
It's wrecking your throat.
It is. It is really problematic. And hopefully when I tell my primary care provider, they'll be like, yeah, and it doesn't seem to be helping you anyway, so let's just not make you spend that money again. Because it's really done more harm than good, and not just my throat. So, goodbye, good riddance. But I'm not in control of things, so.
Yeah. So we're gonna go. We're gonna take a break. Relax. You get your errands done.
Yeah.
And we'll be back around 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
Ah, look, I remembered. We're on the Eastern Standard Time. And
Thank you, everybody.
the
We'll
birthday
see
stream
you
will continue.
in a while.
So yay, we'll probably just do a watch party and just hang out. We're just hanging out anyway, so. But more hanging out.
Hangy.
Hanging out. All right, take care.
Mm.
Bye.